What's happening? Hope you're doing well. Still here in South Africa, and I wanted to drop a little something in here to just kind of talk about how I even ended up in this space. First thing is this: hit that subscribe button, that like button, that share button. Y'all know what to do. Let's get maximum impact with Jay Cameron out there. Now I'm gonna talk a little bit about that and why I decided to start actively promoting this channel, and then some of the hate I received, even though I don't really give it a whole lot of credibility, but I want to talk about it because it's a part of the journey. So anyway, we're approaching the 1 year mark of actively promoting this channel. I had it up for a while, but I really didn't do anything with it. I would do some financial things along the way, but around this time last year, when I was in South Africa, it's ironic that I was in South Africa in Joburg, hanging out with the Blantons. This time last year, Mark and I did an interview on his channel, and like in a couple days, it was like 10,000 views. And I was like, wait a minute now, what is, So he started schooling me. He said, look, man, yeah, this YouTube thing is serious. So I said, okay, I got my channel monetized, and I just started pushing content out from Ghana. Just not realizing, I don't even think at that point, it was minimal subscribers at that point. I mean, not even, it was just enough to probably get me over to the monetization point. So I kept pushing content out, and then a video I did a couple of years ago went viral. And that's when, it just kind of took off from there. And then it leveled off, but I kept putting content out, and then I just started watching the subscribers go up. And then in December of last year, 2021, I just took a break. I took like 3 months off, because it was a lot, it was a grind. So that kind of slowed everything down, which was fine, because you're pacing it out. But I never set out to be a YouTuber. That was never my goal, and I don't think it still is my goal. I think now the reason why I named it Maximum Impact is because that's exactly what I wanted to do, is to be a maximum impact to whoever watches it, whatever information we're sharing. I just happen to pick the platform of educating and entertaining by way of travel throughout the continent of Africa and different African diaspora destinations, because I think it kind of evolved once I realized all the stuff that we have been told about Africa and all of that. Well, some of it's true, but a lot of it's not, or we're missing pieces of the puzzle. And most people have a perception in the Western world about Africa that is like a fraction of what this beautiful continent has to offer. Anytime someplace, this is one thing I realized. Anytime a narrative, the first thing you think about a place is something negative, because I understand colonialism and imperialism, there must be some resources hidden behind that negative narrative, especially if it's being pushed aggressively. You think about Iraq and places like that, negative narratives. It's like, what's behind that? Then you dig a little bit deeper and you find out there's oil, you find out there's some sort of resource that might be influencing these narratives. And the average everyday person is too busy just trying to survive instead of going all into the depths of, what's the layers of what's happening. And so once I discovered that, I said there has to be a way to simplify this where people can get it and understand that. I think the thing that shocked me the most is when I came to the continent of Africa, east, west, south, north. I saw so many Europeans living their best life. I saw so many Lebanese living their best life. I saw so many Chinese living their best life. But the people who were absent were the people who descend from this place. And many of us are struggling with, subconsciously struggling with identity issues. And then it leaves us vulnerable to these different, you're not African, you're this, that, or the other. It leaves it wide open to be exploited. So I'm looking at African people all around the world and the exploitations, whether it's psychological exploitation, financial exploitation, physical exploitation. And I'm like, no, I cannot go on this journey and see all of this stuff and be quiet. So then what happened? COVID came along and pretty much shut down travel in 2020. I started Maximum Impact Travel, which is a division of the overall Maximum Impact brand. And so we didn't do any tours in 2020, but I continued to travel in 2020. and then went to a lot of different places. And then in 2021, we started our tours again, had a lot of people coming on the tours. And then I got my dual citizenship in Sierra Leone. Just a lot of different things started happening. And then that's when the YouTube channel kicked in and it took off. Now, when it began to take off, of course, you get the haters. And so I only talk about this because it's a part of the story, but let me explain. The hate came from, there's this thing in America that says, well, those Africans don't like you, so you better not go. Those Africans don't like you. Well, the hate that I got, ironically, is the same place I received tremendous love. And the place where I get the most hate, the most slick comments, the most, slick comments are from African Americans. That's where I get the most, hate. It's not, I don't even know if it's hate, because they're not saying, I hate you. They're not going down that road, but it's some sort of slick comment, some sort of, you need to get on back over here on this tribe. And, I don't know why you over there. And you don't know, you not African, you really from. And I'm saying, Negro, you don't know jack about my DNA, I spar with them in the comments and stuff, because sometimes I'm bored. And sometimes I do it just because, I tell them all the time, I say, thank you for giving me even more content, because a lot of people don't know I'm a storyteller. So I tell stories, I write books, I write plays, I write documentaries, and all of that. So what it does, sometimes when I do that, it just gives me a script. It's like, thank you for giving me a script, because I'll just take those words or change them a little bit or whatever and turn it into, theater. And what it does, though, is when people see it, they realize, well, I'm thinking crazy like that too. I don't want to be like that. Or it allows for something to be answered or challenged or whatever. So, but ironically, that's where I would get the most hate from. Have I received some on the continent of Africa? Absolutely, absolutely. But again, I don't even, it's like, there's nothing like what they were telling us, those Africans don't like you, because where you might get one simple comment, you'll get 10 comments expressing love and appreciation and thanks. So something that John Maxwell said many years ago, he said, sometimes what we do is we'll focus on the one detractor or the one person, the one critic, and forget all of the other positive comments that come along the way in the journey, So, but that's where the hate has come from. But tremendous love has come from my brothers and sisters all over in the UK. The love on the continent of Africa. When I go to different countries, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming. Thank you. Welcome to our part of the world. That's overwhelming. That's overwhelming. Outside of the go back to where you came from, and I'm like, I did. Sometimes they're not ready, because I could be just as hardcore. I tell people, I say, I got enough crazy in me too. I said, don't think I don't have it too. So, but it's like the ride, even with all of that, has been amazing. The people I met, y'all don't understand. I meet some of the most amazing people on this journey, or from someplace. I was in Kenya. Brother rolled up on me in the airport. Man, I was just watching you. And I was like, yo, what's up? All right. Of course, in Ghana, in Sierra Leone, people walking up, hey, man, oh, man, I just saw you. I was just watching you on YouTube, man. I was like, oh, wow. So it's that thing that is, really special. The other part of it is, I'm not, I didn't set out to be popular. I probably lost as many subscribers as I've gained. I'm liable to say something that because I talk about everything. I leave nothing off the table. I got some more content coming down the pike, talking about a whole lot of different topics. So I'm sure I'll lose some, gain some, but I didn't set out to do this channel to be popular. I set out to have a maximum impact. And so in order to do that, sometimes you just have to say what it is. And I had to be very clear about that going in. I had to be I'm very intentional with my social media presence. And so where some people, they put all of their business, their entire life, all of that stuff on social media, and then it comes back to bite them. You won't see certain parts of my life on social media because it ain't none of nobody's business. I show exactly what I want to show. I'm talking about reaching the African diaspora, connecting it back with the continent of Africa, and whatever falls in between there, that is my messaging. That's what I stay on. When you start deviating and going all over here and all over there, and that's when you start getting into issues that you don't need to get into. And that's the one thing I tell people: whenever you decide you want to get into social media space, you control your social media. You control your messaging, all of that. That's your thing, and that's just how it is. Now, obviously, you can't control if someone sees you somewhere, and and all of that. There's certain things that are just out of your control. But as far as what you post and what you put out about on your channel and on your platforms, that's your business. And that was something I understood going in. I knew the message was not going to be just about travel. I knew it was going to be about talking about the different things that we've seen over the years as people and challenges that we've gone through. So I knew that, and it was cool. I like I said, I enjoy it. I also understand that at any point in time, and this is what a lot of people have dealt with, YouTube could decide to just snatch the channel just because. I've seen people, I know other YouTubers on the verge of losing their channel because they said something or did something that somehow went against the community standards. And the community standards could be just based upon somebody's interpretation. I was doing an interview with African Superstar, and she was talking about how her channel was taken down. Now, I don't know, all the details. I'm sure YouTube would have a reason for what they're doing, but the point in all of that is, like, there's some people who put the rest of their whole lives on YouTube and followers and subscribers and all of that, and then the channel gets snatched down, and they lose that income source. What I learned in radio many years ago, I had a window. I was a radio announcer, and I had a window of opportunity. And because some people, they get comfortable, man, we number one, we about to do this thing, and we're going to turn this thing up. At any point in time, you could lose your job in 90 days back then. If the ratings weren't right, they could just, we're snatching you off the air, or they could just snatch you off the air, and that was it. I knew I had a window, and I made sure that I took advantage of that window. I started doing my plays. I started developing outside interests just based upon that platform because I had a level of influence. When that window closed, I was able to jump onto the next thing and keep it going. And that's my approach even when it comes to social media. I mean, I could be on this platform and on Facebook and other platforms for, a million subscribers, who knows? But I don't rest on that because I know that at any point in time, they could decide that I said something, called them out or something like that, and boom, now the whole channel is gone, and that's just the way it is. But while this time is here, what I'm going to do is maximize the moment to have maximum impact. And so, that's the journey. Let me see what else here. Anyway, that's it. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, I will say this much. I appreciate all the comments, even the ones that, are quote unquote hate. I take it with a grain of salt because, first of all, the people talking don't even know me. And whether they like what I'm saying or not, but sometimes you get corrected in the comments. Sometimes you realize maybe you were a little bit too harsh or a little bit something, or you misspoke, or it was misinterpreted. What you were saying was misinterpreted, and you're able to come back and say, oh, wow, next time I talk about that topic, let me not say it like that because it came across like that. So it's an incredible lesson. Yeah, you learn, anytime somebody takes a platform and opens their mouths, if they think that they're not going to misspeak at some point, they are naive, very naive. And I have not heard anyone who's opened their mouths and not misspoken. It could be, you're thinking, like, I'll give you a good example of when I've misspoken. Because South America and South Africa are so similar in how they come out of the mouth, I have accidentally said South America, or said, I've interchanged, I said South America instead of saying South Africa. And, just talking fast and not thinking about it. And so some people were like, wait a minute, well, that didn't happen in South Africa, or whichever way it went. And I was like, well, no, I was actually trying to say South Africa or whichever one, South America. I forget the context of it. But I encouraged him. I said, go back and listen to the context of what I was saying. And then you'll see that I wasn't talking about the other versus the other, and it was a misspeak, but that happens. Those are things. I tell people all the time also, if you're going to get into the social media space and you don't have a thick skin, then you might not want to do it. And if you're not able, and when I say thick skin, one, let things roll off your back, but then on the flip side of it, also being able to say, look, put that pink TV up on them. And sometimes people don't expect you to put the pink TV up on them. Well, you just say, hey, man, you know what? I don't give up. So this is something that somebody said. We're all just passing through here. It's not even that deep. Enjoy the ride and do your thing. So anyway, all of the new subscribers, thanks for tuning in. We're headed, our goal is to hit 20,000. And I know for some people that, seems small, but every YouTuber, everybody who has 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, they all had to start somewhere. And they all had to, ascend however they ascended. And everybody's journey isn't the same. But nevertheless, I'm appreciative, and this is why I celebrate each 1,000, because I'm appreciative of each person who subscribes and listens and gleans from some of the insight that's being shared. So if you're, the old saying, if you're not faithful over a little, how are you going to be faithful over much? What you do with $1 is what you're going to do with $1 million. And that's how I see it when it comes to subscribers and that whole social platform. What you do with a few is what you're going to do with a lot. And if you're not doing right with the few, then how are you going to be able to handle a lot? And that's so that's why I share just a little bit of the story, a little bit of the journey, and just thankful for all of it. Just thankful, because I could be doing, nobody could be watching, but there are people who are watching, and they're coming on our trips, and they're buying our books, and they're sharing, and this is how we're chipping away at this wall of misinformation, and this is how we're having a maximum impact. So thanks to all the people I've collabed with over the past year. It's been one heck of a ride. And so thanks to them for allowing me to share their platform and introducing me to their audiences. I do not take that lightly because I know exactly what that means. So anyway, as we continue to 20,000, and perhaps you might be watching this when we're at 200,000, but just know this is how you build, this is how you grow, and you're thankful at each phase of the journey because it doesn't have to be that way. It could be completely different. So anyway, you know what to do. Subscribe, like, share. Maximum Impact with Jay Cameron, as we are coming up on our 1-year anniversary as far as in the maximum impact space in Africa. We're coming up on that anniversary, and we are shooting for 20,000 subscribers. So let's make it happen. And again, click share. Y'all know what to do. Let's get the word out there. Let's hit the mark. Talk to you soon. Take care. Be safe.